What's up everyone? Welcome to the channel. Today I'm watching Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood episode 22. I have a really good feeling that the streak of fantastic episodes is going to continue here after that cliffhanger we got at the end of last episode. Bradley Wrath has come into the mix and seemingly has dealt a blow to Lanfan. So we'll see what happens. The cliffhangers like this, sometimes they tend to mislead you as to what's actually happened, so I'm really curious to see what's going to happen, but either way, we're going to get a continuation of these fights that are playing out with Ed and Al holding down Scar with Bradley and Gluttony with Lanfan and Ling. So I'm really curious to see what plays out here. A couple things I did want to talk about before we get into this episode. So just the more emphasis they're kind of putting on the whole truth side of things, which they're now referring to as like going through the portal. So it seems like this is more of a thing, like the homunculi and Father, I guess, know about it. They're looking for the sacrifices that have been into the portal and come back. So I'm just finding that very interesting that this is a known thing. And I just want to touch on, I'm wondering if it's coincidental or not that Bradley is now fighting the two people from Xing in Lanfan and Ling, wondering if he sees them as a threat as well to what they've got going on in Amestris. But I do believe at this point, Bradley is there for Scar. He wants to get rid of Scar, right? Whether that has something to do with Scar killing off state alchemists, whether it has something to do with Scar being a survivor of Ishval, probably a bit of both. But nevertheless, Bradley is here and he is wreaking havoc. And something I picked on after editing episode 20, after Hohenheim was staying at the Rockbell residence with Ed and Pinako, which a few of you guys also picked up in the comments for me as well, but I did think about it during editing, was the emphasis I said they put on the dog, and the dog walking out of the room was signifying that Ed was there, listening into the conversation. Hohenheim picked up on that and thought, well, Ed's probably listening. I'm going to steer the conversation towards the transmutated corpse wasn't really their mother. Which, like I said in the discussion of that episode, did lead to Ed going and digging up the corpse and then having all this revelation with himself, Al, and Izumi. So it's super interesting that Hohenheim chose to say that knowing Ed was listening. So I'm curious as to what direction Hohenheim is trying to steer Ed in. Is it some sort of connection because he's actually his son? He did show a bit of compassion towards Pinako, saying something really bad's about to happen, you can get out of here and not be a part of it. So Father as a character is becoming very curious to me. I want to actually know, like, what is he doing? I feel like he's trying to do something very sneaky, or he's been caught up in something. There's multiple agendas going on, I'm not sure. I just find that very interesting, and I want to pay more attention to what's going on with Hohenheim and Bradley Wrath. You know, there's a bit of emphasis on them as a pairing, perhaps having a separate agenda to the other homunculi last episode. We'll have to see. Just more things to keep in mind. But that's enough of that. I need to get into this episode and see what is going on with Lanfan and the rest of this fight. So here we go. Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood, episode 22. Okay, where are we? We're back to when Scar turns up.
Had once again made an appearance in
we haven't had a recap in so long. I didn't even realize.
To draw the murder. Before long, the homunculi Wrath and Gluttony appeared.
Mm-hmm.
However,
it's not looking good. It's not looking good.
Clever. You took a swipe at me with your kunai.
Oh.
can I eat her now?
Just
Okay, so she's okay? No, this is not allowed. There's a lot of blood down there, man. There's Big Ling.
Lanfan, please stay with me.
He said don't mess with Lanfan. Okay, she's gonna be okay.
You're surely mistaken.
Okay, Ling.
I see you're no stranger to combat.
I said he might be no match for Bradley. He's proving me wrong.
He's trying to stay in my blind spot.
Yeah, Ling's got it.
Gluttony!
He's back. Ow.
Excellent. We should have some privacy in here.
Oh my gosh.
If you don't mind, first I'd like to know who you people are and how you found out what's inside Gluttony.
What's inside Gluttony?
You looking for an escape? You might stand a fair chance of getting away if you'd only abandon the injured girl because she's just excess baggage at this point.
This is a side of Bradley I haven't seen yet.
I can see all those stars on your uniform. You're the ruler here. Fuhrer King Bradley, unless I'm mistaken. A ruler's duty is to his people.
Talk to him,
Without
Ling.
them, he is no king at all. King Bradley, you're no true king.
Facts.
Not now or ever.
Don't you understand that there are no true kings in this world?
Flashbang. Clutch line fun. Uh-oh, something's gonna happen.
Draft. There's the exit.
Yeah, it wasn't gonna be that easy.
But your flash bomb didn't succeed
there it
in
is.
blinding this eye.
Ooh. Oh, he called it something. Unstoppable eye or something? Backs in the distance. Interesting.
We won't be away too
Oh
long.
no.
You be a good little
Why are we going here?
Take care of things while we're gone.
Just after Scars reappeared as well. Damn, she looks so much like her mother.
Winry,
Gracia. Oh, she's with the Hughes family.
here we are.
Oh, I am emotional. Okay, so this is why she was thinking about her parents going to the graveyard to see Hughes. I'm so emotional right now.
Watching Mr. Hughes leave that day was like
It's
the
the
last time I saw
same.
Mom and Dad. Just their backs as they walked away.
I'm having a lot of emotions right now. I don't know why, but obviously this is very emotional, but emphasis on Winry.
The Elrics are wreaking havoc.
What?
Oh, here we go. It's backfiring on them, causing a ruckus,
Fight?
trying to attract Scar. Oh, Winry's not gonna turn up with Scar.
State alchemists.
Seriously? They haven't caught him yet?
Uh-oh, I don't like where this is going.
Waiting for?
Oh, it's the same thing. The last thing she saw,
Not again, please.
their backs walking away. Damn, poor Winry, man. Here we go, more of this. I like this.
It's a dead end.
Ooh, this camera work. Uh-oh. Alphonse? Nice.
Nice one, brother. Appreciate it.
We need to get out
You
of
can't
here
do
now.
this right now.
Mission to fire?
Not yet.
Why the hell not?
Oh my gosh.
Ling hasn't fired the signal flare yet.
Yeah, he's in
My
trouble, man.
brother's getting tired. I have to buy us some time. Scar, you say you believe that alchemists have defied God. You use alchemy just like we do.
It's balance. Where there are creators, there must be a destroyer.
That's a lie.
Agree. No,
You're
no
using
more.
the name of your God to justify murder. Revenge is all you care about.
I agree, I
When
think.
you killed Shao Tucker and Nina,
Yep.
I suppose you believe you were doing God's work then too.
You two saw that abomination as well, did you?
Man, they were
Alchemy
there for
created
it.
That tragic creature.
No, Shao Tucker
That's
did.
the science
She's
you
a
would spend your
demon.
lives following. That chimera was made because a man thought he could create, when creation is the province of God alone.
I think we've realized that, though, after the
Maybe
last few
you're right.
episodes.
But why did you have to kill her? You stole what little life she had left.
This is very
Foolish
interesting,
as you
this
are, you must
conversation.
still have known that chimera could never have returned to her human state.
I think there's merits to both sides. They did know that. Al
But
said
it
it.
lived out its life as a laboratory specimen.
He's right. Even then, we knew that Nina would be sent off to live in a laboratory.
Talk no
We
jutsu.
knew full well what would happen to her, so we did nothing.
Oh no. She's just not here. Oh, this is a disaster. Okay, I'm glad they're alright. I thought they might have been in some trouble, those two.
It's true. State
Oh,
alchemists
no.
have made some serious mistakes. That doesn't make what you're doing right, and we can't let you
Yes.
continue.
This I agree. Good talk.
Do you remember two Amestrian doctors? named
Why,
Fullmetal?
as soon as Winry rocks up, they talk about this?
The order came down to end the uprising and exterminate Ishval, but that didn't stop them. They kept right on helping your people.
Wait, brother!
There's just no
Remember
way.
them? Those doctors saved your life, and you killed them.
Ooh,
Brother!
maybe he regrets. But we have a bigger problem right now.
What are you talking about, Ed?
I'm emotional again.
You mean he's the man who killed them? My parents killed them.
Oh, he said last episode he didn't want to make Winry cry.
I helped save you.
First Hughes and now this for Winry. Yeah, that's a appropriate response.
They didn't deserve to die. Give them back. Give me back my mom and dad, you monster.
There's just a gun. She's not, man. Winry is not.
Winry, hold on. You can't.
Winry is not that character.
Don't do it.
Move your bodies.
What you're doing is senseless revenge.
This is what that other
and
guy
it's
said to
leading a
Scar.
fruitless cycle of death.
Master, I
You
believe.
must end this cycle once and for all.
Fullmetal
Look at that shot, man. Oh my god. How did we get here? This isn't Winry.
This girl is the doctor's daughter.
Say something.
You have the right. Shooting me would be justified.
True to his character. But. Well, here we go. Give me. I want to see more of this.
Brother!
The Ishvalan War.
Brother!
He's got no scar on his face here.
This is no time
Tattoo.
looking at your
Tattoo on
nose.
his arm.
Just a minute more, I'm almost there.
Maybe it wasn't Scar. Maybe it was his brother.
What are those tattoos for?
Oh,
Alchemistry. An alchemy,
basis
right?
of alchemy is
He said his brother had
understanding,
both.
Deconstruction and reconstruction. My right arm deconstructs. My left arm
That's really cool.
reconstructs.
That's very cool.
Your brother's alchemy might be the only way we have of saving Ishval.
Interesting.
Your brother is the only one who can stand against the state alchemists.
If he can
Ooh.
match their power with his, he could find a way to annihilate the military. The threat to us would be ended.
Kill them before they can kill us.
Pay them back in blood.
Do you
See-
see this, brother?
Yeah.
This is the science that you would spend your life following. You
He's
mean
dead.
things for the greater good.
So these are Scar's principles,
Don't
right?
even see
His
the evil
values.
you're creating.
Oh my god. Oh, it's pretty raw. Big emphasis on the blue eyes. Oh my god. Jesus Christ. Oh my goodness. Let's go, Scar. Oh my gosh.
This is the great power. This is going to save our people.
Even back then, before he was deconstructing, he was a beast. Yeah, that's it. That's
Science
enough.
causes nothing but destruction and slaughter. Are you all right?
Yes, we're both okay.
Sorry, I'm late.
Okay,
There were
everyone's
some
okay.
Important notes I needed to compile. Here, I want you to hold on to this.
Okay, this
What
might
is
be
it?
where Scar gets all of
These
his
are my
information
research.
from.
Take them and get away now.
Hold on.
He's
a
gonna
minute.
stay back and
If
fight.
anything happens to me, I don't want my research to have been for nothing.
Why don't you just take it and run away yourself?
Because he's ready. He's about to
You're a
do
warrior
it.
of the Ishvalan people. You've been well trained. Let's be honest here. You're a lot more likely to survive this than I am.
And he looks like he's, like, shaking.
Look.
Yeah. Yeah.
My legs won't stop shaking.
He is terrified.
Is that a soldier?
Is that the Emperor, maybe? It's someone from Xing.
Look at his hands. He's a state alchemist.
Wait, is it? It's the Crimson Alchemist. I completely forgot about him.
Get back!
Oh my god. What was his name?
Stay with me.
There's the scar.
Don't you die.
And his arm is gone, man. I didn't notice he had a scar on his arm.
His arm. Where's my brother's arm? Where is it?
Does he take his arm with the tattoos? There's just no way, man. The construction arm. Sorry, the deconstruction arm. It's gonna happen. He's gonna deconstruct his arm and construct it onto Scar.
keep fighting. Let me go back out there.
No, you're staying right where you are.
Okay, okay.
Doctor, you and your wife should get out of here.
Young man, we're not going anywhere.
This is I imagine this is Scar. Yep.
What happened? Brother?
Anyone who can move on their own, go now.
He's awake.
Don't move
Winry's
or you'll
mother?
open up your wounds. Come here.
You aren't well enough to move around on your own yet.
He
Somebody
said
get
the
a
eyes.
cart.
The
Take
eyes
this
are the
man
same.
with you. He needs help.
It's gonna trigger him. That's his brother's arm, man.
You're alive.
That's not your arm, bro.
What is going on here?
Sedatives.
There aren't any more. We used them all up.
Oh, he's gone nuts.
State Alchemist.
Yep, he's lost his mind.
The Mystrians. You will pay. All of you.
Oh my god. So it was Scar. Dude. Oh. And all he has is the book. That's his home, man. This really makes you
Go on.
empathize with Scar.
Don't do it, Winry. Put down the gun.
You know you don't want to do this.
I forgot this was even
Winry!
happening.
Shoot, girl. But no, the moment you pull the trigger, there's no going back. You will be my enemy.
Scar!
If you think I'll let you hurt one hair on her head.
Will you kill me? But don't ever forget. Don't ever forget it was the Amestrians who first pulled the trigger during the Civil War. It was your people.
Winry, don't shoot.
Just put the gun down and get out of here.
Don't shoot!
It's a... It's the same thing. Okay, okay, okay. Everyone calm down. Not the cat, man!
Ed, you idiot! What are you doing? Hurry and get Winry somewhere safe.
Scar is a very interesting character. Let's have a chat right now. Take the gun from her, please.
Winry, let go of the gun.
I couldn't shoot.
No, and you shouldn't have.
You couldn't.
This poor girl, man.
You said he's the one who killed my mom and dad.
This.
I tried to kill you and Al too, Ed. But I couldn't. Why not?
Remember in Rush Valley, you delivered that baby. You saved 2 lives.
Creation, not
And you
destruction.
gave me an arm and a leg.
This is huge from Ed.
Replace the ones I've lost.
This is the exact right thing to be saying right now.
They weren't meant to kill.
Yep.
They're meant to give life.
Nice. That's just exactly right. Oh, I'm gonna cry. Holy shit, this episode. Another fantastic episode. I'm a very emotional person today. I'm not sure why. That was 3 times in that episode I got teary-eyed. Wow, what an episode. Very happy we got to go back and see more of what happened during the Ishvalan War, especially from Scar's point of view, exactly what happened with him and his brother. Oh, there's so much to talk about. I'll try and go chronologically here. So first of all, Lan Fan seemingly is okay. That fight is kind of inconclusive right now. Bradley and Ling were going at it, and Ling just proved me wrong. I did say last episode, I'm like, I don't think Ling is going to stand a chance against Bradley. Proved me wrong, took Gluttony's head clean off, and was fending off Bradley with Lan Fan on his shoulder. So Ling is the guy, you know, the young Emperor's child, he is the guy. And it was a very interesting conversation that they had about Ling talking to Bradley as the Führer, like, you're not a real king. Which is very big, I think, coming from Ling, who is the Emperor of Xing's son. and Ling himself is trying to get in line to become emperor, you know, like a king. So a very interesting conversation. I really like the emphasis on that. You can tell by the way Ling was talking how passionate he was and how much he believed what he was saying. But I really enjoyed that exchange. I reckon we'll get more about what's happening with the rest of that fight, like Bradley and Ling, next episode, I hope. And then we move into the whole exchange between Scar, Ed, and Al. And I guess the talking part of it before we went into the flashbacks and everything else that happened. It was a lot of recycled information. I believe stuff that they've talked about before. For there to be creation, there must be destruction. And Scar's talking about his whole I destroy because alchemists create. And the whole, you know, the principles behind, you know, Nina and Alexander and all of that. We've all talked about this before, but it was really a lot of talk. I was thinking while I was listening to it, I was like, do I need to go back and watch this again? But Al did say, he's like, right, I'm trying to buy time, I'm just going to talk. But it was nothing we didn't already know, especially about Scar. But the thing that was interesting, right, was Scar saying, look, what do you think was going to happen to Nina and Alexander, the Chimera? Like, you know, they was just going to live the rest of its life out as a Chimera. You know, it wasn't ever going to be a human again, which is really unfortunate. But what the boys were saying is that that's not an excuse for just killing it. You know, that's not okay. And it shook the boys up a little bit, you know, saying, yeah, we knew, but we did nothing. But like, I think that's a bit of Scar getting in their heads, but it was really interesting. I can't remember exactly what Ed said at the end. I think it was something along the lines of what I just said. It still doesn't mean you can just kill for the sake of killing, you know, even if Scar's out there for vengeance for what happened to Ishval. Like, Scar can stop this himself. That's what his master said, you know, several episodes ago when he woke up after getting rocked by lust. But like, Scar seems to have this idea that he's just going to keep going. He can stop this. He absolutely can. I know he's fueled by this whole situation that, like, you know, the state alchemists started this. They fired the first shot, and the Ishvalan war happened. Ishval was destroyed. He lost his brother, presumably his parents as well. And before I get into the whole flashback sequence, which was incredible, we'll talk about the emphasis on Winry and how that all led up to the flashback as well. So instant emphasis on Winry at the start of the episode. Quite a little comparison between, you know, how she felt the last time she saw her parents walking away, just looking at their backs, as she's off to visit Hughes's grave, and then thinking back to the last thing she saw of Hughes was him walking away, you know, with his back turned. She's lost, you know, 3 people now that she cared about, and the last memory she has of all 3 of them is the same. And as she's walking through the streets, you know, she hears, you know, the ruckus that Ed and Al have been causing, trying to attract Scar. And she's like, oh my goodness, they're fighting. Flashback, the last thing she saw of them was them walking away with the backs turned. It was exactly the same thing. Of course she's gonna go after them. And of course she rocks up as soon as Ed starts talking to Scar about, do you remember the rock bells? Do you remember the doctors that you killed? And instantly you can tell Scar remembered, which we did find out throughout the flashback. But like, of course Winry rocks up at that moment. Like, it is what it is. But yeah, it's just one of those moments, you know, where everything just happens at the worst possible time. And that, like, Winry just out of nowhere is just face to face with the person that killed her parents. Completely appropriate reaction from Winry, if you ask me, just breaks down crying. Of course, there's a gun there, presumably from one of those guys that was hanging around before. Like, you knew Winry was never going to shoot. She's not that character. And Ed summed it up beautifully at the end, which I'll get to as well. But just how, like, Scar was saying, it was very out of character from him. It's like, yeah, go on and shoot. Like, it's you know, it's reasonable. Like, for Scar, who's going out to try and seek vengeance for the entirety of Ishval and his family, his brother, Winry is in the same boat. Like, vengeance for her parents? And Scar was like, do it. He's like, I wouldn't blame you. But he's like, you're not a state alchemist, but as soon as you pull that trigger, you're my enemy. It's just, there's just so much going on there. It's just ridiculous. But cue the flashback. And then we finally see Scar's brother, and he's got tattoos on both of his arms. It wasn't confirmed at that point that it was Scar that killed Winry's parents. It was pretty much him just lying. And I saw the tattoos on his brother, and I'm like, well, maybe it was him somehow, which we find out it wasn't. But I thought it was very cool that one arm, I believe it's the right arm, destroys and the left arm creates, or vice versa. I'm pretty sure that's right though. And it's all like alchemy and alchemy, and like he said, the alchemy of of this land. I'm not sure if he was referring to Ishval or just Amestris in general, which I believe he was. He said it was strange, it was different. There's so many little details there. But his brother, you know, like devoted, you know, I guess his life to, you know, that science that Scar kept talking about. But Scar, all he could see was destruction, death. And he was like, why are you doing this? It's just violence, it's death, it's pointless, which I can sympathize with, sure. And then the war is just happening. It was very raw, like some of the clips, like there are people being shot. There's maces or something through people's necks. It was just out there. It was very, very raw. Just to kind of put into perspective what people like Scar, who are still alive, have gone through and seen during the Ishvalan War, and I'm sure the same can be said for some of the state alchemists. But yeah, then to see that it was the Crimson Alchemist, and I know I said it's someone from Xing, because I look up and it looked like Ling. Like, you know, with like, you know, a long ponytail, it just looked like Ling, and I'm like, okay, clearly this isn't Ling. Is it the Emperor from Xing? And then I'm like, no. When I saw the smile and like the alchemy, I'm like, no, this is the Crimson Alchemist, who I'd completely forgotten about. I don't know if we've seen anything about him since the 5th laboratory when he was in the prison right next. I need Kimberly, that's his name. Yeah, we knew he had a big situation in the Ishvalan War, and that was it. And Scar's brother, after giving Scar the book with all of his notes in it, jumps in front to try and protect everyone, you know, presumably with his alchemy. When Ed jumped in front of Winry, Scar had a flashback to that moment, like, brother, like, it was the same thing, and I think that's why he stopped. When Scar wakes up, and I know Scar has another scar on his arm here, right? His right arm. I don't know if I noticed that before this episode, but I noticed it early on. I don't know if they did that on purpose to put more emphasis on it, but I did pick up on it. And I'm like, he has no arm. And I'm like, what the hell happened? Because I was just assuming that Scar puts the tattoos on himself, you know, at some point, after getting the book from his brother. Makes sense. But no, I am sure what happened is, well, it is what happened. It's exactly what happened. His brother said, you're not dying. You need to be the one that goes on. You are the trained fighter. Look at me, I'm shaking in my boots. I'm not fit for this. I've just done all the research. So I imagine he, you know, used alchemy to attach his own arm, the destruction side that Scar is using, to Scar himself. And that's when he woke up and he was like, oh, good brother. And then he was like, wait a second, this is my brother's arm. He's gone. Like that's crazy. That's just another twist you cannot see coming. Wow. So that was fantastic. I was blown away by that whole sequence. Incredible. And then we come out of the flashback after we get confirmation that yes, it was Scar that killed off Winry's parents in a fit of rage. So much emphasis on the blue eyes of the Amestrians and the state alchemists that were coming after Ishval. Scar wakes up, he sees the blue eyes and the rock bells, and then he realizes his brother's gone. He loses his mind. Look, can you blame him? No, not really. But it was in a fit of rage. Like, he was so mad. Like, he gets up despite all of his wounds, and he just wrecks everything. Winry's parents go. And clearly he feels something about it, like, based on the way he was reacting to when Ed pointed out, like, you were the one who killed, did you kill the rock bells? You know, did you kill them? And like, when Winry was in front of him, he's like, you are the doctor's child. Does he feel like remorseful for what he's done? I think Scar is an intelligent enough character to probably understand what he has done, but we'll have to see. But then back to Winry pointing the gun at Scar, very tense moment. Never felt like she was going to pull the trigger, but nevertheless, and it did lead to eventually Ed jumping in front of Winry, like, no, you're not gonna touch her. For Scar to stop short and remember his brother, you know, jumping in front of his family. And then Al jumped in and ran off with Scar. Probably one of the most impactful moments between Ed and Winry so far. And there have been a lot. So I think there's a lot of weight to those words that this is the most impactful. But Ed said the exact right thing in that situation. Like, Winry was like, I was face to face with the man that took my parents away and I could not pull the trigger. And he was trying to kill the two people that she cares about most that are still in this world, Ed and Al, and she couldn't pull the trigger. And Ed, as he one by one pulls her fingers off the gun, says, your hands were meant to give life, not to take it away. You know, you helped that woman give birth in Rush Valley, you've saved lives, that's who you are. You're not meant to destroy and take lives, you're meant to create. And I just think that's absolutely beautiful, you know? Like, first of all, hats off to Ed for being able to say that in the moment. and just as a message in general, it's just fantastic. I think that's beautiful. Like, it just about brought me to tears, you know? Like, it's fantastic. This show is just nailing everything, every little detail, every interaction. It's just fantastic. When the ending theme kicks in again, it was just like when Ed ran into Hohenheim a couple episodes ago. It was the same feeling. I was like, oh, like the chills. It's such a beautiful backing track for moments like that. I thought they absolutely nailed that. Wow. I think this might be a long discussion. I had so much to talk about, which I'm very happy with. That's what I want it to be like. I love shows like this where I can just talk and just let my mind wander. It's just fantastic. I'm really enjoying this. So I imagine next episode we are going to get, you know, the conclusion of Bradley and Gluttony against Ling and Lan Fan. Al's run off with Scar. We'll see what happens there. None of Roy and Hawkeye this episode. Maybe they'll come back into the mix. We'll have to see. Not an incredible amount to go on. It was a really well-rounded and conclusive episode in terms of what it was trying to get across. But I think that's everything for this episode. Well, another banger. I think that's 5 in a row that have been fantastic. But that's going to do it for this one. Thank you all again so much for watching. Please feel free to like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. And please continue to leave your comments and feedback down below. I always appreciate it. And we'll see you in the next episode of Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood.